Okay, here we go. Are you ready for this? It's going to be the hardest interview you've ever
Ready.
done.
Oh no, man, the suspense is killing me.
Yeah, this is going to be a rough one for you. I hope you're prepared. All right. And we'll go in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Two.
Welcome. We screwed it up. I'm just kidding. Welcome to the Zoom. Guys, everybody, I have a wonderful, wonderful guest here today. His name is Dwaine Woolley. Thank you, Dwayne, for joining me on the channel today.
What's up, Senior Jan? No problem, man. It is my honor. Malaking, ano yun eh? Anong honors Tagalog? Malaking, alam mo ba?
Hey, Jal, what's honor in Tagalog? Karangalan daw.
Karangalan, ayun. Yun
Ayun.
pala, yun.
So everybody, yes, that's right. We have vlogger, actor, board game creator, Dwaine Woolley
Yes.
with us. And super, super excited about that. Let me just mute all of these stupid notifications before we get ourselves started, which I should have done already. Okay, perfect. So Dwayne, thanks for coming on to my vlog, and thanks for working with the crazy schedule that I had going to do this interview. I really appreciate it. As you know, my
No
my
problem,
channel
man.
is still kind of small, but it's cranking up. I don't know if you know this, but I've been looking at the YouTube studio dashboard, all the analytics and stuff. And slowly but surely, like, I'm getting subs and I'm getting views.
Awesome.
So it's pretty cool. It's really fun to do a super small channel though, where there's a very tight knit community.
Right.
So that leads me into like my first question with you. Obviously, you're a vlogger. You've been doing this for several years now. What kind of got you started into the vlogging thing, and when did you sort of realize that, oh, hey, vlogging is actually something that I could legitimately, make a viable part of my income?
Okay, so nung dumating ako sa Pilipinas as a missionary, I fell in love with the country straight away. And I love the language, I love the sense of humor, like, just funny things like wala kang hiya, like things like that is just funny.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound funny in English, but in Tagalog it's so funny. I fell in love with just the whole culture. And so I wanted to come back to the Philippines to do something, whether that was work in a call center or work as like an Australian diplomat or something. I just wanted to live in the Philippines. And so I went there again after I finished being a missionary, to get on a TV show called Eat Bulaga. And so on that TV show, I was thinking, oh, this is cool. I could do like TV stuff as a career, kasi wala akong alam nun. I had no idea how show business worked and no idea how disappointing it could be. So I got on that TV show. I loved it. I won third place in the end. I had a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And then after that, Eat Bulaga told me that, hey, look, we're going to offer you guys like a regular spot and a show. I was like, oh, awesome. That's great. Sobrang excited kami nun. Tapos, ang nangyari was, walang nangyari. So they promised, they told us that we'd get a regular spot on the show. Al Dub came along and they just completely forgot about us. So we just kind of faded away into eternal nothingness.
So that's around the same time that Aldub got just gargantuan.
Yep, about 2 months after Foreignoy ended, Al Dub, kaboom, just went kaboom, and we just got malas, diba? Sewing palad. So they forgot about us. They didn't get us back on their show again. ever again, I think. Yeah, I don't think I ever got on that show again as a foreigner. So I was really sad. I was really disappointed, about what happened, and I was trying for the rest of that year to get on TV again. I
What
had
year
the odd
was this,
hosting gig
anyways?
here and there.
What year was
I
this?
know. This was 2015.
2015. Okay.
Grabe, no,
So a little
matagal na
while
pala, no?
ago now. It sounds so much longer. It sounds like yesterday, but it's so long ago when you think about it.
Yeah. Yep. So I auditioned for TV gigs. I didn't get them. I did land a role because they were looking for a white guy that could speak Tagalog fluently.
Right.
There were only probably two of us in Manila at that time that were
Yeah.
suited for the role.
Yeah.
So it
That weren't
wasn't a hard
already
role.
serving missions.
That's right. That's right. They weren't missionaries. So they gave the role to me. It was just me and one other guy that auditioned for it. I got the role. So I had a 50-50% chance of getting it, and I got it. Cool. So that show was The Story of Us with Kim Chu and Sian Lim.
Wow.
My role lasted for about 2 months on that show. And then the show ended. And then I was back to square one again with nothing. So I went on a show called I Love OPM, which is a show for foreigners that sing in Tagalog. And we had to sing in Filipino songs. I joined it with a couple of other guys. We made a boy band. That was fun. We got to the top 8. And then, nothing happened after that. So what I did see, though, was YouTube vloggers like Will Dazovich and old good old Travis Kraft, the Adobo Manak guy. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Okay, these guys are just kind of doing their own thing. Like they are being the script writer of their own little TV show on
Yep.
YouTube. I was like, that's a great idea. So, I was watching Will Dazovich and other YouTubers, and I thought, let's start a YouTube channel. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see how I go. So I started making videos of me speaking Tagalog. So first of all, I chose my niche audience, which was the Philippines, and I just made content about Filipino culture and lifestyle habang nagtatagal ako, tsaka Bisaya, tsaka Waray. I'm just trying to experiment and see what people were watching and what they didn't really like to watch. So that's how I sort of got into YouTube, and I saw it as a platform where I didn't have to wait around for auditions or for casting directors to offer me positions. I could make my own positions, and I can give myself the role every time. So
How long after you started, geez, my chair's squeaky. How long after you started would you say that you like realized you're like, man, I actually think I can turn this vlogging into something? How, like, so you started your vlog, you saw that like, show business is not everything that I thought it might be. You start this vlog after seeing, Will Dasovich and Travis Kraft. And then how, like, at what point was it, like a year into it? Was it like 6 months? Was it like a video that did really well and then you sort of tried to capitalize off of that?
it was, I think when I started YouTube, I told myself, okay, I'm gonna make this work. All right. Because if I could get really big on YouTube, I would be loving life. Like that would be an ideal kind of lifestyle for me because I like being creative. And I just love making and editing videos. So yeah, I just decided from the get-go that okay, I'm going to make this work.
Okay.
And it was about, it was when I started really researching on YouTube, seeing what other people were watching, what they like, what's patok, so YouTube. I saw that patok sa YouTube was love life, pag-ibig, kilig, as it is on TV as well. Filipinos love kilig. So I started making videos with my then girlfriend, my ex-jowa, si Shanta. She's my ex kasi asawa ko na.
Yeah. She's much
So
more
we started,
go up.
diba? So we started making videos together, and that's when our channel really boomed. When we were making vlogs as a couple. And so we decided, all right, we're going to keep doing this because this is what's working. This is what people like. And we like doing it too. So, yeah.
I think that's super interesting. It's kind of funny that you share those experiences about show business because I think foreigners in particular who have been to the Philippines, maybe they're Phil-Ams, or maybe they're, you know, in our situation, they were missionaries who wanted to come back for some reason. There's a sort of unrealistic idea that a lot have where it seems they believe that they can just kind of come over and make just get famous and be in show business and just do a bunch of shows. And when you come out here, I don't know if you, maybe you can speak on this a little bit, but for example, I noticed that there is a little bit of a bias against foreigners in Filipino show business. They actually try to look for more native talents, which I totally understand, with a more native accent, right? If you're a foreigner, you're already kind of being put into this really niche market in show business that I don't know if it's possible to make a living off of. Even Will Dasovich, the man was on PBB, but he wasn't able to keep a show business career going.
Hello.
Happy birthday!
Hey, thank you.
Same kayo.
Hi, Nitro.
Yes. Birthday.
baby.
Hello, Tito Pierre.
Hello.
Hello.
Uy, sorry, sumulpot kami.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Pasensya.
It's okay. We have editing software. It's all fine.
That's right. Yeah, man. That
so what do you
very
think about
true.
that? Do you think that's kind of true, or?
Very true, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to find work in showbiz as a foreigner because kulang yung mga role para sa'yo kung foreigner ka, no?
Yeah.
Even if you do speak Tagalog, even if fluent ka sa Tagalog, but you're a foreigner, it's going to be hard for you to get work unless nanalo ka ng PBB or something like that, no?
Right.
Yeah, so
I've noticed
Anyone
that almost
is.
every foreigner that comes in, even if they get something that's really big and that's really really heavy on exposure, even then it's 5 to 10 months from then, it's really hard to even maintain that. Like,
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of people I've noticed, foreigners who take the other route, who I'm not exactly sure if they're trying to get famous, but they manage to find a lot of work as actors. I actually have a friend out here named Nico. He I don't know if he's ever been famous per se out here. I mean, he has a decent social media following. It's over 100,000, but he manages to get a lot of work, even though he doesn't speak the language very fluently or anything like that. And he just kind of came here on modeling. He's trying to make it work for him. So I always think it's super interesting how foreigners kind of come in, they look at this place as the land of opportunity. And it just is, the show business is just one of those industries that really sort of takes everything you have. Otherwise, you're never going to make it. And if you try to stay in it for longer or force it, it could take everything from you anyways.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's yeah, I think you know they say never give up on your dreams, always follow your dreams, ganon. But showbiz is an industry where wala kang masyadong control, no? So you just have to
So
it's
difficult.
better to follow your dreams when you can, well, when you're the boss, you know, like when you're starting your own business, you're the boss, you control what happens, you're the master of your own fate. In show business though, you're at the mercy of whoever's in control,
Yeah.
which is casting directors, producers, etc. So
I don't think people understand that very well. They think that you can just get one into showbiz. They don't realize you have to make sip to a lot of different connections, right? So like not only
literal na sip.
yeah, literal, as in, you know, you have to not, and it's not only just casting directors, you have to be friendly with the casting director, you have to be friendly with the director, you have to be friendly with whatever booking agent you are working with, you have to be friendly with the rest of the cast or whoever's there. If there's a major star, you better for sure make sure not to, you know, embarrass them or get on their bad side in any way. That's not to mention the cavaclave of corporate faces and names that you have to know. This person from accounting, this person from wardrobe, this person from hair and makeup, and you have to like maintain all of these relationships, because if one of them falls out, that can cause a domino effect where in a chismis culture, somebody says something to someone else, who says something to someone else, who says something to someone else, all of a sudden you're out and you don't even know what happened before you even realize that it happened, right? It's so I always thought that was super interesting. People always ask me about, you know, like, how do I do show business and how am I going to get involved with this? And I always sort of point them towards more of self-managed role, which is partially why I'm talking to you, because you kind of took what you enjoyed and you realize like you have to make it fit what you're capable of doing in order to be successful. So obviously you were doing this and making all of this work. It was wildly successful. You know, I still tune in to your vlogs occasionally, and people just really enjoy, you know, following the sorts of twists in your life, as well as the different games and story like you play and stories you share. Obviously, with the coronavirus pandemic now, I might have to bleep out that word. I don't know if they'll censor it and demonetize my channel if I say it. But with the pandemic and everything, you know, raging, what was really the final straw? You said, hey, we're just going to take operations to Australia for now and, you know, and wait this out. What kind of made you decide that?
I think, well, there's a number of things. So, I mean, it used to be the ad, it's more fun in the Philippines, used to be like sobrang totoo. It really was a lot of fun to be in the Philippines, you know, before the pandemic. Ngayon though, it's like, you know, super hard lockdowns. The future is always uncertain. So industries such as hosting, events industry was severely affected. And I was an events host when I was living in the Philippines, 2018 to 2020 in March when the pandemic hit. And literally I had over 40 bookings for 2021 and 2022. I had to cancel all of them. Yeah. Because, you know, I couldn't host them. So, yeah, you know, there was that. So yeah, there was like a big loss of income for us there just in the events industry. So all we had to rely on was YouTube. And so we were trying to pump out more YouTube videos, you know, every day so we could make up for the income we lost with hosting. And then my wife had the baby. Nitro was born. And as Nitro grew up, we started to realize that he's not getting the human interaction that a normal baby should get, because he's only seen me and his mom. He hasn't seen any other babies, any other people. He's been to the doctors, but they're all wearing face masks and face shields. He can't actually see anyone's face or interact properly with people. So we started to see that this is probably not good for him to stay here or to grow up here in this apartment in Manila. Yeah, you know, this box
just locked inside this box for who knows how long.
That's right. That's right. You know, and you know, he was screaming all the time. He wasn't sleeping properly because we're always in the same room with him. And yeah, it just started to make me go a bit mental too, because I couldn't get any sleep, man. The baby's just always screaming, you know. So we decided, we listed the pros and cons from staying in the Philippines to moving to Australia. Yeah. And it just made so much more sense to move to Australia. Because dito sa Australia, you don't need to wear face mask. COVID is pretty much non-existent here, except in quarantine hotels.
Yeah.
When they have lockdowns here, they're not severe, hard lockdowns because they don't really need to lock down hard.
Yeah.
Um,
And you've
for
got
example, in Queensland
vaccines,
right
right?
now, what's that?
And you have vaccines available.
Yes, vaccines are available too. They're starting to pump them out. So, I mean, yeah, it's just safer here. And, my son can interact with people, see their faces, meet his grandparents and aunties and uncles. Kasi malaki ang family ko dito sa Australia. There's so many of us, marami kami. And yeah, it just made more sense to come here. So we, researched how to get to Australia during this crazy time. And we got all the documents, filled out all the paperwork we needed. We had to pay $5,000
Jeez.
in flights just to get here, plus another 3,000 for quarantine.
Jeez.
But in the end, it was worth it. It was worth it to get here. So yeah, mahal pero worth it, naman.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So looking back now, we're winding down this hard-hitting interview. Looking back now on a lot of your different experiences, not by any means saying that you're done or anything like that, but just based on what you've seen, what would you say your favorite showbiz experience or vlog experience, anything that you want to put in that category, hosting even, what would you say your favorite experience has been so far, if you can name one?
Ooh, favorite experience vlogging. I think that's it. Mahirap yung tanong mo, Greg.
I know.
Parang I think my favorite experience is the overall experience of seeing the channel grow.
Yeah.
From when I look back from 2017, when we started up until now, it's, we've come a long way. We've done a lot. We've seen a lot, like just the overall experience of seeing the community grow and seeing how much we've grown with YouTube, like our attitudes have changed and things like that. So yeah, I think that's probably the best part. I think it's natural. Karamihan sa mga YouTubers, especially when you're starting out and it's really hard, you're not getting many views. You work really hard on editing a video and then you upload it and no one cares. It's just so disheartening, and it can make you angry as well when you're working so hard and you're not getting results. And I would often look at other YouTubers nung maliit pa yung channel ko, and I'd be like, why is everyone watching their videos and not our videos? What's wrong with our videos? What can we do to make it better? Like all these little struggles we had to go through to get where we are today. Yeah, just that overall experience is good, and it's helped me grow as a person, and it gives me this feeling of satisfaction, like that. Okay, I set a goal and I worked hard for it, for the past 4 or 5 years, and I've achieved it.
Yeah.
Like there's that feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment that makes you feel good about yourself and just about life in general. So yeah, it is
pretty cool to be able to see the growth that your channel has taken since I met you. It's grown even since I met you. I remember before you hit 1 million.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think when I first met you, you were even below 600,000, but it was just like, it's just this consistency and this sort of focus on, you're gonna try to make it as quality content as possible. You had good equipment. You could tell that you cared about your channel. You were putting a lot of work and effort into this. I think people really like to see that. Not to mention, like how many young people are watching. They're like, sana all's success story.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
you're right about the Key League. Final question for you, Dwayne, before we wrap this up. Lots of people will be coming back to the Philippines after this pandemic is over. I personally suspect that we're going to be seeing a lot of new people coming in, just like we did, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, trying to get into show business and everything. So the question I've got for you is, if you had a room filled with these people what advice would you give them? Like, what's like, if you could only give them one piece of advice, what's the most important thing you think they should hear?
I think the most important thing, oh yeah, the most important thing. There are a lot of important things.
Yeah.
Um,
It could be like a
the
2 hour, like a 2 hour
yeah,
dissertation, right?
yeah, I could just list off all the important things about how to be successful on YouTube or
Right.
Facebook or social media. But yeah, probably the most important thing would be the one thing that helps me get to where we are today.
Mhm.
It sounds very generic though. It sounds generic, but what I was going to say is just no matter how hard it gets, you need to learn to adapt. You need to accept that you might have to change something and never give up. Keep pursuing it. Because YouTube is a platform. Your YouTube channel, you can control that. You cannot control the algorithm, but you can ride along with the algorithm. You have a lot of control as a YouTube content creator. So yeah, I think that's one of the times where you can say, okay, this is an industry or this is a career that you should never give up on, because no matter who you are, you can achieve really big success on YouTube. Everyone can get to 1 million subscribers if they really want to. Kung gusto mo may paraan, kung ayaw mo may dahilan.
Yeah.
And yes, it can be hard sometimes. It can be really freaking hard, but the fact is you can do it. It's possible. You can do it. With showbiz though, I would not advise people to never give up on showbiz, because with showbiz, you don't have a lot of control, as I said earlier. Your fate is in someone else's hands in show business. So it doesn't really matter how hard you work and how badly you want it. In the end, there is a possibility that you could still fail, because it's just not in your control. Unless you become a director and make your own movie and you're the star of your own movie or something. But yeah, so my advice for YouTube creators is never give up. That's the most important thing.
I really like that sort of piece of advice. I've noticed that's absolutely true for me as well. Like if you're gonna do something out here and you want to get involved in these sorts of industries, then you really have to be a tenacious person, but you have to be flexible and you have to be willing to adapt to the situation, because if you just sort of stick your head in the sand and, like, for example, the first time I came out here to do what I'm doing, I just went to castings like every day, right? And that's how I managed to start. But can you imagine just doing that every single day for years on end, like without any sort of like adaptation to your circumstances? It's a great way to sort of burn yourself out and everything. Yeah. Anyways, so I want to just thank you so much, Dwayne, for agreeing to come on and do this quick little interview. Everybody, please follow Dwaine Woolley's channel. I'll link it down in the description box below. I hope you really enjoyed our little conversation. Dwayne has been not only a friend ever since I've been able to come out here and get involved in this sort of industry and do these sorts of things, but Dwayne's also like sort of been there to provide advice and to help me out. So I really appreciate the fact that you were able to come on, Dwayne. Would you like to plug your content and your channel and everything?
Bro, I think I'll plug your content, your channel, man. Yeah, guys, look, subscribe to Greg Hawkins. All right, he is the man. Subscribe to Greg Hawkins, follow his activities, lifestyle, his mukbangs, all the crazy stuff he gets up to in Manila. Ayan.
Yeah.
Greg Hawkins, meron din siyang Instagram. Yun. Follow niyo siya. Actually, mas sikat siya sa amin sa Instagram eh.
I'm still losing followers on that platform. I forgot how to use that platform at this point. It's a total mystery. Instagram is a mystery. At least YouTube subscribers go reliably upwards. Instagram followers are all over the board.
Kind of like that, huh?
Yep. I'll gain
like
2,000 and then lose 2,000 and gain 1,000 and lose 3,000.
it's like Dogecoin, man.
Yep. It's like Dogecoin. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dwayne. I really, really appreciate it. Give us a little bit of a status update before we go on your board game, and if there's any way that we can help with that project.
Yep. So the board game is called Encanto. It's about Filipino mythology. So you play as one of 4 different bayanis, and you venture through forests, through caves, through the ocean, and things like that, fighting creatures called Encanto. So I've been working on that all year. It's nearing the final stages. I've got lots of miniatures to paint, like these things. So I've got to keep painting these. I've got to finish doing the art for the maps and things like that, but it's on its way to completion. My estimate is November this year, the game will be 100% complete and ready to buy. So ayan, abangan.
Yes, abangan niyong lahat for Dwayne Woolley's new game. Thank you so much, man. I really, really appreciate it. I'll end this interview here. I'll hit you up afterwards. And again, thank you so much, Dwayne, for coming on and sharing with us some of your experiences. And I hope you have a good one for the rest of your day.
Walang anuman. Maraming salamat.
All right, take care. See ya.
Thanks, man. Bye.